Okay, how tired do you feel right now after all that?
I'm exhausted. I just want to go home, relax, go to sleep. I'm tired.
Draymond, can you put into perspective just like what it's like to guard Jokic on however many minutes you did on a night like this, on the second night of a back-to-back after the road trip that you had?
I mean, he's tough to guard after 5 days off. A lot tougher to guard on the back-to-back, where he's sitting in San Francisco waiting on us to get back. But I think for the most part we did a good job. Saying that he's 13 for 17. He got those threes going there in that third quarter, I think it was. But thought we kept a body on him. He had some tough shots. Why he's great. But overall, I think we did the job and got it done. So it's always a tough challenge. Loon was great on him in his minutes. He got nothing easy. We could live with it.
You made your call on how the season is going to end up a while ago, but winning in Memphis, beating the Lakers in L.A., winning this game on the back-to-back, obviously all playoff teams you might end up playing. What does that tell you guys about yourselves and what's possible?
It just confirms who we thought we were. We said from the time we got Jimmy, this team, the sky's the limit for this team, and I think, these games matter. Talked about it yesterday of just getting these young guys these meaningful game minutes. They're playing great. BP was incredible again tonight. Everybody off the bench. QP was good in his minutes. JK was really good in his minutes. So I think it's important for us to continue to play at this level, at a high level. Steph Curry, I thought he'd win Player of the Week after yesterday. I think he'll really win it after today. But man, Jimmy he put so much pressure on their defense. He put a lot of pressure on their offense. So yeah, I think just further prove we are who we thought we were.
Draymond, you just touched on it with Steph, but for him to go 52, 37, 36 in 3 very big games in 4 nights, what is that sort of, I mean, you've seen him do a lot, but what does that say? And also, is that connected to Brandin? Kind of, how much does Steph's success sort of attract attention that gives Brandin open shots?
I mean, Steph's success attracts attention for everybody, and it's always been that way. But BP stepping up and knocking those shots down, he's taking them with confidence. We need it. The way he's shooting the basketball is incredible. So I think we all benefit off Steph. It's not just BP. Everybody who's played with Steph over the course of the last, I can speak for 13 years, has benefited.
Draymond, whether it was the physicality or something else.
And if you couldn't benefit, it's your fault. It ain't Steph Curry's fault.
What changed in the second quarter after giving up 44 and then 16 in the second quarter? Like what flipped for you guys?
They started to fill us. I think that first quarter was kind of track meet. You shoot, I shoot. Whoever make the most shots win the quarter, and they did. And we gave up 44 points, but we got our defense settled in to start that second quarter. And then when the group came back, they continued it on for the rest of the quarter. 16-point quarter was huge. So once we got the 44 under control, I think we pretty much took care of them the rest of the game.
That group that began the second quarter and the fourth quarter, what do you like about that group? The non-Steph minutes, I mean, you guys did a really good job with that unit.
Jimmy Butler got another one in that group. That group has struggled at times because we just, no one out there. We got a one now. So, I think that group plays a little different style than the first group or the groups with Steph. And so I think it's a tough adjustment to kind of go from the style we play. You'll have to overly prepare for Steph. But, yeah, we just added Jimmy Butler to that group, and he changes everything.
I think the fans seem to be riding this big wave of fun and joy and stuff. How is it from inside the team? Do you guys have a sense of that, or is it just more business and take care of take care of the work?
Well, I think joy is one of our core principles, if I'm not mistaken. When you have a leader like Steph Curry, he has a joy about life, a zest that trickles down to everybody. And then Jimmy Butler has big face hoodies that say joy. And he was looking for joy. So I think we've all found it. And it's good for this group.
You guys have a day off tomorrow, and then you guys have another gauntlet of 3 games in 4 nights, and more games beyond that. It's a gauntlet to end the season. What is required for you guys to sustain this energy in this Western Conference where it's so close with all the teams that are around you?
Taking care of the ball, not putting yourself in tough positions where you're having to get back off turnovers. It's huge. And just playing hard on the defensive end. If we play hard on the defensive end, we make the games a lot easier for ourselves. And so I think, taking care of those 2 things, taking care of the ball allows us to set our defense. When we get our defense set, it's pretty good defense when we get set. So I think those 2 things go hand in hand. And if we do those 2 with the shot-making ability that we have, it should help us out quite a bit.
Steph's highest scoring month in his career is April. I imagine that's not a coincidence. Do you feel it when he kind of ramps up at this time of year, and what can that mean for a team?
I mean, for our team, it's great because we're headed into the playoffs and he kind of finds that rhythm. For other teams, it's awful because he finds that rhythm. So I like it. I think, we all understand when you get to this time of year, you have to lock everything in. You got to shut everything else down and focus on the task at hand. And so I think there's a huge benefit to that. But, yeah, he's, as you know, he's special as they come. I'm sorry I'm giving y'all the lowest energy ever. I'm exhausted, but it's good.
Hello,
Like
Dray.
I sound like Klay Thompson up here. Exhausted, though.
Got a paper airplane?
I don't even know how to make them. I would make it and fly it across, but I don't know how to do it.
Hello, Draymond. You said you've been exhausted, but as an athlete, you seem like burning your life, your energy on the court. How much you enjoy your state recently? You're wanted to pursue another DPOY, so how's that kind of?
It just gives you something to play for. Makes every game more important, which is great for us at this time. But I've been a goal setter my whole life. When you set goals, do everything you can to reach them. And so, but in saying that, I want to win. And I think, the first time we spoke about Defensive Player of the Year, I think my statement was something along the lines of, if we win, that gives you the opportunity. And we're doing that. So the most important thing to me is and will always be winning. I hate to lose. So most of my effort, all of my effort goes towards winning the game, and defense is a byproduct of just trying to win the game.
Draymond, you kind of touched on this with Danny's question about Steph in April, but he's talked about wanting to play meaningful basketball. When Steph gets a chance to play meaningful basketball like this week, what do you see in it? I mean, obviously he still has that joy, but is there a different look in his eyes? Is there a different focus? How do you know he's sort of climbed to that next level?
There is a completely different focus, and you see the focus everywhere, though. Like, it's not just once he steps on the court in the game. It's in his practice, in his workouts. It's, he on the phones talking. We need to do this. We need to look at some things like this. He's suggesting substitution patterns. Like, he's just all the way in, and he gets into the weeds around this time. And so, we try to keep him out of the weeds all year because it can be a bit exhausting. But he kind of knows when it's time for him to get in the weeds, and he is right now. You saw Guy come back later in that game. He went to Steve like, Guy need to be in right now. And so he just locks in on a totally different level about way more things than just the game, and I think or his offense, I should say, not the game. It's all a part of the game, but his offensive side of the ball. He's suggesting defensive adjustments and all these, like he just gets way more into it. And then obviously you can see the look in his eyes. Some of those shots he take, like he's just trying to wait for everybody to clear out so he can get a shot off. So yeah, I can see it from a mile away.
Does he call you?
Yes. He told me I suck. No,